Hello. Oops, I need to pull my microphone closer. Come closer. Come closer. Hello.
That sounds like NPR.
A wonderful day.
Hi. Yes, hi.
Welcome to the Black and Orange channel. Welcome to the daily political tarot readings. Today we're going to be having Mr. Shweddy over.
Let's talk about his famous recipe. Yes.
Yes. So thank you for being here. We have a fantastic community here because of you. You have been so kind to each other. You've been so kind to us.
Yes.
Thank you. And if you're watching on replay, we're not going to do this the whole time, but it's silly, so we're doing it. Thank you for being here. All the questions are in the description box. Should I be? Hang on. All the questions are in the description box. And
perfect.
So you can pick and choose what you're interested in.
Yeah.
Or you go down to the description box, pick what you're interested in, or watch the whole thing back on 1.25 speed. Okay, shall we go on? Hello.
Y'all. You can't break script like that without giving me a heads up, because I'm not that good to just play along like.
Oh no, you're awesome.
Perfect.
You are perfect just the way you are, my friend.
Okay. Like I can do skits if I know ahead of time, but if I don't know ahead of time, I can't gird the laughing loins. I just laugh everywhere.
There's nothing planned.
So okay.
There
never has a truer statement, but there's nothing planned. We just go.
Oh, actually, I meant me in this particular thing, but yes, yeah. Anyway, right. So you know how I disappeared the other day, and it turns out we have bats.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the other people in the house overruled me, and they want a second opinion. So there's a person coming who's going to go through, look at everything, and give another quote. Mm-hmm. And I said, I need to work or what have you. So my mom was like, it's okay. I've got it. So I've made her a map. I've cleaned everything.
Yeah, she has.
My bedroom right now looks like I'm moving.
Yes. You can't see anything with the furniture. Like everything else is put up. There's nothing out.
Yeah. And everything's in a container, everything. So anyway, but there's no access to any of the attics from in here. Mm-hmm. So we should be okay. And the cats can come and go.
Mm-hmm.
Boo-boo, if there's somebody in the house, even when one of my sisters comes or my brother-in-laws come in, he's like, but sometimes even I come up the stairs wearing shoes and he's like, I'm like, it's me, you big nut. And he goes,
right.
So, the alphinator is going to alphinate.
Mm-hmm.
So Alfie will Alfie. So that's what's going on. And the guy was supposed to be here between 10 and 10:30. He has been calling to say when it be. But at some point, I am likely to see another Spider-Man.
Another Carhartt Spidey on the roof. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, goodness. But that's okay, because if she has to step away for a minute, we can just talk smack about the news for a minute, and it'll be fun.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I shouldn't need to. I should not need to. So I should just be able to sit and enjoy this with you. So
Valerie says that it's very you to have bats. Yeah.
It's very autumn to have bats. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they should be here by now, but oh well. All right.
Before all of this happened, I had seen an ad for a set of fake nails that I almost got you. Do you remember the little girl from years ago that had the viral clip where she talks about how she loves bats? It's bats. It's freaking bats. And she just loves bats. Well, it's a set of black nails, but if you get them wet, they turn like a light reddish whatnot with like little bats. It says it's freaking bats on it. And I almost got them for you, but now.
Yeah. Yeah.
At the moment, it's gone. But
hang on. I can here on YouTube, I want to show you just a couple of seconds of this, which is one of my favorite videos on the entire internet.
Mm-hmm.
One of my very favorite. I can't play much of the music. Hang on, make this big. No, not that. Okay, I've got to share it first, and then I can. All right, and we'll get to the questions. Hang on. This is one of my favorite things on all of YouTube, which is if you film bats hanging upside down, it looks like a goth nightclub from like the 80s.
Yeah.
I'll play just a
safe sky puppies, though.
Yeah, those are safe sky puppies. All right. Anyway, I just wanted to share that because I love it.
Oh,
yeah, M. Kelpie still looking for the sticky tapes for her nails. Yeah. The other thing, and I'm going to be, this is the last thing, this was a last aside I'll say. I'm just, at some point I have to have this joint replaced. And I'm very conscious of it now. So it's the other reason I don't wear nails. One, I can't find the stickies. Two, it hurts to take something off that finger. And I'm very conscious of it because my nails, they're not even. So, but
right. You notice it more than anybody else does. I'm just letting you know.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, let's read on some news.
Let's do it. Yes. All right, we are rearranging some stuff because I know some folks were tired of starting with Arngina, which I get it. He can be a bit of a bleh. So at 7:50, Acadian Proud had a question. In an unprecedented move, aren't they all unprecedented these days? Ohio is funding the construction of private religious schools. Of course it is. What will happen? That this is they're wanting this to go through. Is it going to yuckadoo?
There's even our founding fathers wanted separation of church and state, and the Pledge of Allegiance did not include under God until the 1950s.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
Yeah, this is. Can we quote Hal Sparks here? Can we share
Always.
something Hal Sparks has said, which I 100% agree with, which is, if your churches, these evangelical churches, if your churches actually did a good job teaching your kids religion, you wouldn't need this. Instead of being these big political things that you've turned it into.
That part.
Fool.
Mm-hmm.
9 of Wands. Whoops. Fool. 9 of Wands. 5 of Swords, adding insult to injury. There's the country. Oh, look, it's the cult.
Yes, and the state is using state money to build private church schools. Yes, that's the intent.
Can we, hello Americans, hello my fellow Americans, can we vote blue, please? Everywhere?
Yeah.
Yeah, this whole dynasty control women's bodies. Okay, there's good news in future. Right now, they're trying to see what they can get away with. You may think that this is the big plan. I don't know if this is the big plan. I think this might be a part of the big plan,
Mm-hmm.
and that they want to see how much they can get away with, and then go further, and then go further, and then go further, and just keep going and going and pushing and pushing. However, legally, this is a non-starter. If we vote blue, there's a whole new beginning coming of democratic ideals and separation of church and state, and women not being treated like second-class citizens, and no longer being second-class citizens, etc., etc. King of Cups. It's not the Emperor. That is smarter. I'm not always a big fan of the Emperor card, because it's so much the patriarchy. It doesn't have to be, but so often for me it comes up as that. This is like the antidote.
Yeah.
So vote blue, Alice Williams says, and I am with you. So,
all right.
Vote blue. Blue, 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 blue. Vote
Ride that blue wave.
Mm-hmm.
All right. At 12:10, Brad too had a question. This sort of builds off of what we were talking about the other day. You and I were talking about this morning. What is the probable outcome for the music and entertainment industries with the Diddy issues and all the people being exposed?
I'm going to drink my tea because Sarah has tea.
Yeah.
Even if you don't go into too many details.
So there was a book.
Okay, hang on. Before we start, I just want to say, I understand some people are like, I don't care about pop culture. I don't care about, okay, but you care about human trafficking. You care about exploitation of women getting their rights enforced back and enforced, and getting rid of predators. Right. Because this isn't just, oh, he's a musician, they're awful, that's fine. No, it's not fine. And this has got tentacles. The graphic I made the other day is not, it's at least twice that size, if not more. There are people involved in this far and wide, and it's all going to come out. And we need to listen to women. We need to trust them, because they have been coming out for decades saying what was going on, and they were ignored.
Yep.
So anybody who's like, this doesn't have anything to do with politics. Oh, yes, it does. So buckle up.
This is all I'm going to say.
Back. Yes.
Yes,
please.
Betty, the veil is lifting. That's correct. I'm not going to get a lot of this we touched on the other day, and a lot of this is still speculative.
Yep.
I will say that there was a book. There was a book that was published on the 6th of this month, right before Diddy was arrested, the week before he was arrested. Allegedly, this was from the diaries of Kim Porter, which is his ex-wife who passed away from pneumonia. It was not cancer, it was pneumonia. So this book, were it really by Kim,
were it proven to be real, if it's
proven to be real, it is.
Hang on. Where is it?
The link that I sent you wasn't it. Oh yes, entertainment. There we go. Okay,
sorry.
As the video I was watching about it, it says if only 5% of this is true, holy buckets, Batman, because it's everybody. But Kim goes on to talk about how different people were made to like go away. How random people had like pneumonia and went away. And
otherwise healthy people.
She talks about She talks in the book about how she found out where the videos, the vault was. And then she came back later to try to make copies of things and put them on the cloud. Her house was raided for them, but they were in a physical form.
Not by the police.
No. And then the last entry talks about how she's going to the hospital because she's not feeling well. But if something happens to me, you know who to call.
And she allegedly gave this to her best friend.
Yes. Now, this was released on the 6th. Since then, there has been an injunction by Kim and Diddy's kids, by Kim and Sean Combs' kids.
Who have been raised by him.
Yes. Well, they were common law, if not legally married. I could have sworn they were legally married at one time, Rhonda, but longtime partner. We'll just say longtime partner. But their children filed an injunction, and this has since been removed. But people are speculating that also Diddy had a run-in with Jamie Foxx last year, year before. I don't remember the exact timeline, where they had words. And then a week later, Fox had that mysterious illness where he was in the hospital for 3.5 months, where he still hasn't said what was wrong with him.
And there was a list of people who suddenly, out of the blue, got pneumonia and passed away right after they had a fight.
Yes, Mary, she mentions Tupac and Biggie in great detail. There's stuff in there that is wow. Also, going to point out, other people are saying that, Ashton Kutcher has been a big proponent he's been building apps that have supposedly been set up to prevent human trafficking and stuff, for like if you go stay in a hotel room. Yeah, but he's been a big, proponent of being against all of this. And some people are saying it was just a front to cover his butt because he was at every party.
Well, he and Mila Kunis, they wrote letters of support for Danny Masterson, who's in prison for 30 years for what he did to women.
Margie, to be perfectly honest, I thought about that too. I don't think Brittany Murphy, well, then again, Brittany Murphy, she was with Kutch for a minute. Maybe. I don't know.
I actually was curious because I was like, well, you can't, unless you have pneumonia, you can't give people pneumonia if you don't have it. So if that was the case, like the novelist part of my brain was like, okay, how would that work? So I went looking and digging, and it turns out that if you are in the hospital with showing all the symptoms of pneumonia, they can try to test you for certain antibodies or something you're coughing up, but really they know from x-rays you've got gunk in your lungs, and they know that you've got all these symptoms. So they don't necessarily. So to my surprise,
it's possible.
It's possible apparently with things like heavy metals,
certain poisons,
poisons, drugs, what have you. So I don't know exactly. Like I said, I don't. All I know is he got away with this forever, and nobody was listening. And he just kept getting accolades and the key to the city and on, and he just kept going. And now people are going to be making money over his demise, not physical demise, but the demise of his career and his public persona. He kept them quiet with money.
I will also point out that people have been saying for days, a couple weeks now, ever since the arrest, that Addams would be going to jail next. And he got hit with indictments this morning. And I don't know. I know not a lot of it is Diddy related, but I would not be surprised if there's not some crossover there.
And he was indicted yesterday. His house was searched by the police. I'm not gonna say it was a raid because they had a search warrant, but they went through his house.
Yes, Brad Addams, the mayor.
This is Sean Combs' pathetic apologies. By the way, did you hear after the video came out of him attacking the woman in the hotel? We'll just leave it there. Did you ever hear his actual? You ever listen to his actual apology?
Oh, it's horrible.
It's some of it sounded like he was trying to be contrite, but then he'd say things like, "It's disgusting. It's disgusting. That whole situation was disgusting." It's like, that doesn't sound like you're mad at you, dude.
Right.
But he kept people. This is it. It's the money. He kept people quiet with money, and he kept doing what he did. And now he can't. And now he's going to. I think he's going to prison personally.
Oh yeah. Oh no, he's going to jail. Like every legal person, they have enough. He is going to jail. There is no getting out for him. Yes. I will point out the mayor of New York, Eric Addams.
He's in trouble.
Yes. One last thing on this. And it's not funny. None of this situation is funny. But my sense of humor is warped and you just got to take it where you can. They interviewed Diddy's lawyer yesterday afternoon as he was leaving the jail. And, TMZ or somebody, and they're like, how's he doing? And the guy says, so why did he have that 1,000 bottles of baby oil? And his lawyer, I swear, y'all, he says he likes to go to Costco and buy it and buy things in bulk. I never thought I would have Diddy going to be an extreme couponer as an excuse to get out of trafficking charges on my 2024 bingo list. But now my brain is all I can think of is that song, and I'm going to switch it up. But Diddy used to be a hoe and now he shops at Costco, and that's what's been in my head all day. Costco. He went to Costco to stock up because
now look, and this is the truth. Now, if there weren't all of these people who have come out and said all of these things and all of these allegations and whatnot, and it had come out that he had oh gosh. Okay, sorry. Because these people tend to be so eccentric and what have you, if he had just said, well, I wanted like a waterless slip and slide,
right,
something ridiculous, it would have been like, oh, people with too much money, what have you. But no. And
I want to point out the issue isn't if these were groupings of like-minded individuals that got together for a bunch of extracurricular, consentful, whatever, there is nothing wrong with that. Even if they just wanted to let that freak flag fly, that's fine. That's their business. That's not our business. It becomes public business when there's coercion and minors and things that shouldn't be there. It's not the fact that there were wild parties. Wild parties in and of themselves, even if there's some stuff that I wouldn't participate in, that's you do you, boo. Do your thing. It's the fact of people being there that maybe did not want to be there and being made to do things that they didn't want to do. That's where the problem is. Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah. I'm not shaming anybody because they had a wild party or went to a wild party or whatever. That's their business. It's oh yeah.
So how big is this going to be? Jeez, there's more. There's more coming. And the reason there's more coming is because there were more people involved, because this went on for decades. Mm-hmm. This went on for like 30 years. And 20, for 30 years. And they just let him.
Well,
just let him.
Word on the street is that his mother was a madam and he grew up with her hosting these kind of parties. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And so, yeah.
This is my card of going to prison. It's going up the river. This is losing all of your wealth. I got a big old justice card in the middle. Then I've got a whole bunch of people who he betrayed on all kinds of levels, adding insult to injury. I hate to say it, there's more.
Mm-hmm.
There's more coming.
Oh yeah. We are, it's like one of those big glaciers or icebergs, and you think that it looks huge and you realize it's like 1,000,000 times bigger under, that's where we're at.
Gross.
So, yeah. Okay. All right, moving along.
Hang on. What?
Yeah, it's supposedly the oil, the baby oil was laced.
I didn't know that. Allegedly.
I'd seen a couple of people talking about it, but I haven't seen enough people talk about it to where I consider that to be a thing. But yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. 2750.
Sorry, Betty Cantrell's asking what drug. There's a list.
Oh,
there's a long list.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so
yeah. All right. At 2810, Lisa, mother of two rescues, has a question. Is the Eric Addams indictment drop timing meant to take attention away from Jack Smith's court docs that are supposed to drop at some point today? Or is there a reason why we were supposed to get Jack Smith today and then all of a sudden...
No, these are just people who've allegedly abused the system, abused their power, thought they could get away with whatever they wanted to. And as far as that's a card for the reading itself, this is just evidence all laid out, exhibit A, B, C, D, E, people working together, organizing sort of truth and making a legal decision. That's just doing your job. That's them doing their jobs. I'm not having there's literally nothing here that says anything other than
it's just coincidental timing. Okay.
Yeah. And it's also, if you think about it, is there any point at which you could do something where it wouldn't interfere with something awful that Trump has done?
Not this day and age.
But point a day out where there wouldn't be a scandal to cover, a problem to cover. Yeah.
Right. All right. At 30 even. Switching gears a little bit. First, Marge called out Laura Loomer's racism. And now she thinks that, quote, Republicans don't deserve to be reelected.
What?
Yes.
I'm going to need a quote on that one.
Yeah. Because of Johnson, reaching across the aisle with the budget, Republicans as a whole, they just don't deserve to be reelected.
Did she say if we continue to do whatever, they don't deserve to like?
No, it was not an if. It was not an if. Hang on one second. Let me give you an exact quote here.
Coral says, and we agree.
Right.
Teresa Ford said, broken clocks are right twice a day.
The Georgia lawmaker argued that Republicans did not deserve to control the U.S. House of Representatives. I share the anger and frustration, and I don't think Republicans deserve to be reelected to hold the majority, she explains. It's a double-edged sword, and here it is. Okay. So, what is going on with this semi, and we are talking very semi-rational MTG lately? What I don't.
She's being left behind.
Hmm.
She used to be the one. She was getting all the attention. She was raising the most money. She was Trump was excited to see her. She thought she had a shot at VP. And she did it by being the crazy and the fool for the emperor. And she was, so she goes out there and she's obnoxious and awful. But then suddenly it's just Nine of Swords, sleepless nights, worry. She's being snubbed. She's getting a pittance. She's got all these burdens. She feels like she has to remember when she first came to office, she wasn't allowed on any of the committees, and that gave her all the time in the world to do whatever she wanted to. She didn't have work to do, but she had got so many people behind her that they were giving her money anyway. Best of both worlds. She's getting paid for not working. But now they're moving on. She was not chosen for VP.
No.
Trumpy isn't spending all of his time with her.
He upgraded to a different flavor of cray-cray.
Yeah. I thought she'd be happy enough with her boyfriend. He's a right-wing journalist. They both love that far-right Kool-Aid. So what is up with MTG? Is she done with the boyfriend, or is this just professional, or truth of the matter? There are also a lot of legal things. Legal, sitting pretty, emperor, sword of truth. Those aren't love cards. So it may just be she just wants to be really, really important, and she's not.
Does that have to do with her being on the Judiciary Committee, maybe?
Is she? Raymond DePascal says MTG asked for a pardon. Oh, I forgot about that. Giovanna says she doesn't have a professional bone in her body. Oh, no, I understand. Oh, Fran says she's no longer with the boyfriend. Really? I didn't know that.
She's on the Oversight and Accountability Committee. Yeah. And the Committee on Homeland Security and the Select Subcommittee on the Coronavirus Pandemic. Of course she is. So, yeah.
Bye, Felicia.
Interesting. Toodles. All right.
I like that, Stars. I call it Fool-Aid.
Ha!
Yes.
Yes.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. Next, Jane has a question.
Yes.
This for the next 2024 election, so the November election, will any traditionally red states turn blue? I know you not be able to tell specifics, but will
What is this just presidential? Does it have to be completely blue?
overall,
All right, let me see.
whatever would be easier to read on.
Okay, so now I've got a Scritti Politti song in my head. I've got to wait here for your moon to turn blue, and up until that day. There are a whole lot of young people who are going to vote.
Yay.
Whole lot of young people who are going to vote. Page of Swords, new voters. Knight of Wands. Some of them are male. You know, from what I've heard, it's maybe like in the youth vote. I think it was you'd know in the chat. You know, Hal yesterday was listening to a Rasmussen
Mm-hmm.
Polar guy, the guy who's like in charge of it, and he was saying that among young people, I want to say that 70% of them are going to vote Democrat, 30% Republican. Thank you, Fran. Thank you. Or am I hallucinating? Was that a different something else? Anyway, there are still
Interesting
30% who would vote for
yeah.
But trying to kick down all the Democratic stuff, but there's so much that has come up.
Mm-hmm.
And we are in a huge period of change. Pluto's changing signs, just the whole and in the Republican, they'll fight back.
Right.
So I do have them on the right. They're fighting whatever,
mm-hmm.
but they're not necessarily having a ton of success.
Right.
And a lot of young people are like, we're done with this, and we're going to vote for the Democrats. So, but all I'm getting is about the youth vote. I'm not getting a specific state.
And that's okay. And that question, I should have combined Jane and Lady Eva's questions together, so that sort of encapsulates both of them.
I could be wrong. I think your microphone just switched, or I've lost my mind, which is also possible.
No, I'm still on my microphone.
Now you sound okay again. All right, sorry.
No, you're good. Sorry. But no, I think that Jane and Lady Eva's questions were similar enough to where we're just gonna put that there. But Jane has another question at 39 even. Will there be any election surprises, such as an expected incumbent losing their seat? Not necessarily anybody specific, but will there be a thing where we're watching the polls and we go, I didn't see that coming?
Thank you, Green. I don't need the rest of the song right now. It's a great song, but no. Okay, I'm going to tell you what I'm getting.
Okay.
We know that even if we do as much as we can and vote blue as much as we can, there are still Republicans who are going to be voted into office.
Oh, yeah.
We just know. Yeah. It's not like everything in the entire country is going to go blue. That's not going to happen.
Right. It's not going to happen.
There are Republicans who are going to get into office, and there are young people who are going to vote for Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to walk away from all of that liberal stuff, but all of that liberal stuff is very much there. Lots of votes. And this could be potentially somebody having to walk away on the right. But the main thing I am getting, and I don't like when the cards are too good to be true, but for what it's worth, at insult, not just voting, but adding insult to injury for Trump is going to lose so badly that Democratic families will be dancing. This is insult to injury. He's going to lose so badly. That's what I'm getting. And in fact, it feels like one of the reasons he's going to completely lose his mind and insist that every legal thing happen is because I don't think it's going to be as close as he thinks it's going to be. He might lose so emphatically that he will lose his tiny little Swiss cheese brain. That's what I'm picking up. So I'm not getting it's like you don't even need to like go beyond that. It's like we're so focused on the presidential results. So
okay. That'll work.
Lewis says, fingers crossed.
Right. Joanne Cotton has a question. Will the independent voters bring Harris to a landslide victory? Is it going to come down to the independents this go around?
Usually, well, it often does, but let's see. And I don't understand them. I don't. If you put your blinders on years ago, like under Reagan or something, you put your blinders on, and you're still wearing those blinders, then you're probably getting older and you're not one of the good people here who never put those blinders on. Right? And I can understand a little, people get stuck in a rut. But after everything we've seen, to say that I can't decide between the two sides now? Okay. Temperance, Ace of Wands. Temperance, Ace of Wands. Seven of Pentacles. Sun. So there are some independents. What I'm getting from the independents is they tend to, I don't know, I think they tend to lean right, but they may not be fans of Trump necessarily. But I still get a big Democratic beginning. Card for the reading is a celebration. So they do tend to lean right. They're there, but whatever. That's just whatever. Oh, no, and I do understand, Sylvia, that there's difference between independents and the undecided, but I think the way we were talking about it was a combination of the two.
Well, no, I mean, the question is, will registered independent voters be the ones that sort of inch her over the, not necessarily undecided, but ones that are not registered Democrat or Republican?
Okay, my mistake.
Just for transparency, I'm registered libertarian, so that's for those of you in the chat. I got you. But that's not what she meant. She wasn't dumping on anybody. She was just saying, for if you haven't looked and realized between those two parties which side is more one than the other, then but yeah, you're good.
Okay. I realize I haven't had a lot of sleep and I am tired. But anybody who thinks that I'm dumping on you,
she's not. I'm her bestie. I can promise you she's not.
After all the years I've been here every day, I can say, if you don't know me by now, you will never, never, never know me. Ooh.
Yeah.
If I read on libertarians, I don't think Sarah's energy would come into it.
Well, but there's a wild libertarian is sort of like it's a lanyard pot. Even within the libertarian, there's so many different sects within the libertarian party that it's wild. It is absolutely wild. So I always have to preface it with, I'm a libertarian, but not one of those libertarians. So yeah.
I understand. Higher wisdom. I get a lot of. I just get a majority. It just feels like a majority of them voting right for the right. I'm not saying if they all are. I'm just. But their far right stuff, it's not going to work. They may as well not even be voting. That's what I'm getting. So, oh boy.
Oh, honey, no. Nobody needs to be upset. No, nobody's dumping on anybody. I'm voting blue down the line, because right now that's what's needed. So, but my core belief system are that the government doesn't have the right to tell us. Like, when I register libertarian, the government could still tell you who you could love legally. You know what I mean? I mean, like, and those things, like, and the government has no right to tell me what I can do with my body. The government has no right to tell me who I can love and who I can't love. The government has no right. So those beliefs,
to tell you what your religion should be.
Exactly. Those beliefs are why I'm registered as a libertarian. You know, like I said, I'm a that kind, not a that kind. Yeah. So yeah.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you.
Y'all are so sweet. All right. So y'all are good. Let's roll. Oh, goodness. Oh, here's a good question. Bernadette at 4830 has a question. Is there any chance that Harris will win Texas? I know Cruz is losing to Allred, so there will be some blue in this big old red state.
Gosh, I hope so.
Lord, I know we haven't quite talked as much as we should have, but if you mess with me, you will flip that thing like it's hash browns at Waffle House. Lord, smothered, covered, and chunked. Let's make this happen. Whoo, Jesus, yes. Sorry.
I love you just the way you are, my friend.
Thank you.
Texas for Harris. I love that.
I'm here for it.
I don't even usually want hash browns, and now suddenly I want hash browns. Don't be thinking I'm so into hash browns.
Uh-huh.
There is definitely a blue, quiet, growing.
It's creeping up your aquifers. We're not quite at a wave yet, but it's
yeah. Yeah. It's growing. It's growing. And they keep trying to knock it down, but they can't quite. And when Cruel King Abbott and I can't think of a name, a nickname that is bad enough for Paxton. I haven't been able to come up with something that even begins to even jokingly encapsulate how evil that blankety blank is. But their decisions just make more people vote blue. Unfortunately, if it ended there, it'd be like, yes, but it doesn't. So we definitely get progress in Texas, but
Dark Popeye Paxton. I don't know. I have words, but I can't repeat them here.
Okay.
The thing is that somebody brought it up in chat. Texas is so gerrymandered right now. You're not going to see a blue wave across the board. It cannot happen right now. It's possible that Cruz could be gone. 6 months ago, I would not even have said that. 6 months ago, it would have been like, So the griddle is heating. Jesus is getting the grease on there. We're about to make some stuff happen. So, but really that race and the presidency, those are really the only ones that are sort of exempt from the gerrymandering. Kind of. So, yeah. All right. Berm.
Oh, and that's very sweet to ask about my voice. No, I don't take lessons. I should start practicing again and what have you, because it's very weak. But thank you. You're very kind. You're very, very kind.
Oh my gosh, Karen, Tarrant County turned blue last time. That is huge. That is huge. As somebody who used to live in Tarrant County, that is huge. All right. That's it's in the DFW metro. So
okay.
All right. So 5230, Brad too has a question. Netanyahu has said he won't negotiate until after the U.S. election. Of course he did. It appears to be escalating the war in the Middle East in order to assist Trump. Is this true, and what is the outcome? So is Benny Biddy, what do they call it? Bitty Bitty Dum Dum? BB.
BB Dum Dum?
Yes. BB Dum Dum. Okay. Can you tell I used to live in Texas when Selena was an artist?
I'm sorry, what am I reading on again?
Is Netanyahu yeah.
Netanyahu. I'll just show you the cards.
Okay.
Judgment. 6 of Cups. King of Swords. Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Swords. The attacks should never have happened. Absolutely not. And what Hezbollah did is vile. It's about what Netanyahu decided to do in total. That is and this is just more aggressive fighting, and so look, I'm not there. I'm not pretending like I know all.
Right.
I'm just saying that I can't get past what's happening to the children.
Right. Yeah,
that's that's it. And children on it should never have happened, and then all this stuff should never have happened, and then all that stuff should never have happened, and then all this stuff should never have happened. And it's very frustrating. But Netanyahu, he's not listening. I mean, I saw some headlines this morning, despite what the U.S. is saying, and he's just going to keep going.
Yeah.
There's nothing to stop him.
Personally, I feel, and I think this is a solution for a lot of things, but all of these dictator-esque persons should be, they should be put in their orange jumpsuits and, handcuffed to a chair in a room. And then, depending on where you come from, regardless of what your background is, there is a variation in your culture. There's either a Meemaw, a Big Mama, a grandma, somebody who's, they just need a steady stream of ticked off grandmothers who, walk in on like a 24-hour rotational basis. Let me tell you something about you that you don't know, and whopping them on the knuckles with the wooden spoons for in perpetuity. Just forever. Yeah. But
everything but even the wrapping the knuckles, I'm not for that. But authoritarians having to face the damage that they've done, I'm for it.
Yes. Let's get some. Yeah. And I mean, okay, not really wrapping the knuckles, but I will say though, I'm really, that joke aside, and that was in poor taste. My apologies. But that joke aside, I am not. I know some folks in chat were like, I wish The older I get, the more I realize that karma doesn't play when she says that what you put out can come back. So I've gotten really big about wishing folks the day they deserve, and I've gotten. But the worst I will do is wish somebody's never gets the cold side of a pillow, and even that is starting to come back on me because I live in the South, and some nights it's like I probably should have kept my mouth shut about that, but still, yeah. So but do we have time for one more?
Yeah.
Okay. At 58:10. Alexa has a question. This morning, this is separate from the one the other day. This morning, Trump and Vance were hit with a second set of criminal complaints as violence is rising in Ohio. And this one has a bit more teeth to it. It goes past their inciting violence to known fraudulent and inflammatory comments with the knowledge of what it would do. This is apparently in violation of Ohio state laws. This is a thing. Like in the complaint, it quote the statutes in which they have violated and according to the books, what their recommended jail time should be, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, what's the recommended jail time?
I don't have that in front of me, but it is calling for their immediate arrest, both of them, as per state laws. Since, Trump is all, we need to send everything back to the states. Well, sir, former president, let's put that back to the states. Yeah, let's do that. Let's see how you deal with that state law. So
where are the probation officers?
Because this means that he's committed a crime. He's I mean, if he gets arrested for this, he's violated his probation or bail or whatever. It wouldn't be probation, it'd be bail, but still, that's
okay. This is not a surprise. He's a bully. He's an idiot. He causes chaos for his own amusement. He gets away with it. And he's got the backing of the Republicans. Okay. To him, This is just part of the job. He doesn't care who he hurts. Go extreme, stir up the base. He has no self-regulation anyway. Now, in the center, I do have a justice card. There's a lot of stirring things up, and this can be for stirring things up.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a hanged man card for the end. I need some clarification on this because this man is held accountable for nothing. And there are a lot worse things he's done that he's not been held accountable for.
Right.
But these cards, let me see.
The thing is that he doesn't have to be found guilty of a big crime. It's not like, he can only, and he's not on probation in New York or Georgia. He's on bail. It's conditional release. It's not probation. Probation is like when, that's a ruling after you've been found guilty. But yeah. All it takes is one to be found guilty of breaking one law.
Nothing's going to happen to him. Not before the election. I got nothing. I mean, should he be held accountable? Yes. But they just knock it down like they always do. And he just minor arcana just trots along toward his potential victory. I don't think it's going to come. Other people would be held accountable, but not him. If you listen to Andre over on Proactive Astrology, and we love Andre.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
There is an astrological reason that Trump is so fortunate, why he's so lucky. And if I ever have a choice of when I'm going to either start something new, form a business, I mean, I'm not going to have kids, but if there's something I can control,
right,
I am going to do it. Oh, sorry, the air. It got really loud for a second. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine now. It was just for a minute there. I am going to set that time for whenever Jupiter is stationary, whenever it stations, because when a planet, from our perspective, it looks like it's going forward, but then when it goes around the other side of the sun and what have you, from our perspective, it's like it stops and then it backtracks, and that's retrograde.
Okay.
When it stops, from our perspective, it's not actually stopping.
Right.
But if you orbit from our perspective, it looks like it's stopping before it goes the other way. When it is stopped, it gets really, really potent because you got all that energy and it's not moving. It's just right there. And he was born during a Jupiter station. Now, that doesn't mean he gets away with everything forever, but
that explains the greasy Teflon. Yeah.
Anyway, but yes, that's true, Goral. According to Andre, Dumpy is in deep trouble right now. Yes. It doesn't give you a get out of everything free card, but it explains a few things. But anyway, all right. Well, that's going to do it for us for today. And thank you so much, Miss Sarah. 3 days in a row. Thank you for being here. Thank you.
You're most welcome, dear.
I really needed the help. I really, with all this craziness. So, but at 3:00, we're both going to be over on the Creative Sprints channel as usual. You're always welcome. And then, other than that, I will be back here tomorrow at between 12 and 12:15 every single day. And I'm so grateful that you're here with me. So thank you. All right. Please remember, you are not alone. We are in this together. And there are good days ahead.
Absolutely.
Right? All right. So take care, and I will see you right back here tomorrow.
Yes.